All right, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Kudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of GMS, to the elect doing the work in sincerity and in truth. Shalom. GMS precepts, Nazar Khad here. This is an article I have here from France. What is this? France24.com. You can see it says Russia, Belarus launch massive war games worrying NATO. Now, Russia is basically it's part of or is right next to Russia or their allies of Russia. I believe is next to Ukraine, Poland, around that area. But Belarus, they're obviously allies with Russia. Hence the war games, the massive. Let me maybe say that correctly. The massive war games that they're conducting. This is dated 9/9 or September 9th, 2021. Um, and the massive war games that they're doing, they're wearing NATO. Okay, um, here it is. People watching anti-submarine ship leaving a port during Navy drills. Um, Let me read a little bit of this. It says, top military leaders from the two countries attend the opening ceremony of the war games called Zapad 2021 in western Russia, where flags were raised and speeches given. The active part of the exercise, which comes at a time of heightened tensions between the West and Belarus due to a crackdown on the opposition there, begins on Friday, and will run until September 16th. Now, that's a whole week. Okay, let me see what else is going on here. It says the Russian Defense Ministry set up to 200,000 military personnel, some 80 aircraft and helicopters, 15 ships, and 300 tanks would take part. The drills will involve live fire and mark the culmination of a bigger 3-month exercise. You see, there's a reason why when there's peace on the earth, this is why you should never listen to when they say there's peace. Matter of fact, the scriptures say that as well. When they do massive war drills, it's for a reason. When you have nations that come together and conduct massive war games, it's for a reason. Is it First Thessalonians or Second? First Thessalonians 5. Right. So when they say it's peace, right? Let me get down to the point. Here it is, verse 3. Well, I'll start at 1. This is First Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly the day of the Lord, so cometh as a thief in the night. It's coming as a thief in the night to the ones that are unaware, the ones that are unwatching, the ones that are right now. It's Friday night, 10:30 Friday night. The ones that are out there partying and doing it up, not worrying or not watching the news. If you put on the news right now, it's a total chaos, and and it's plenty of signs out there to let the elect know that the Lord is returning soon. Okay. Let me just go to Judge Report and let's just see. Well, damn, you can't see the whole screen here. You see Sleepy Joe. Biden sweep tax. This is what everybody should be worried about, and this is what's gonna spearhead. This is all just leading to the MOTB. Okay, I'm not even gonna read the title of this, but anyway, you can't see the whole screen. I got it cropped in, but you can see this part here. Um, but that's what one should look for. So if you're constantly watching, if you're diligently seeking, how's it worded in Second Ezra, the 9th chapter? If you measure the time diligently in itself, you can see the signs coming to pass, right? So it's not gonna come. That's why it's worded this way. It says, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night." It's gonna come as a thief in the night because a lot of people are not gonna expect all the chaos that's gonna take place. A lot of people are not gonna expect the Lord's return, especially in the fashion that he returns in. Okay, when the Lord returns, it's not going to be all pieces and cream. It's not going to be. He's not going to come down skipping on a field of rose petals. Okay, he's going to come down and execute the judgment written. Right. Verse 3: For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So this is the point that I wanted. When they shall say peace and safety, and that's what you hear. Well, you don't really hear that on the news, right? You don't really hear that too much on the news, but you don't hear in mainstream media about war games constantly being done by these other nations. That's basically the other nations they're bringing. So, one question you would ask yourself is, if 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 there is peace on earth, if we're not going to war soon, why are these countries and nations constantly, multiple times a year, conducting war drills? And they're not only war games, and they're not only doing it by themselves, they're teaming up with other nations and doing war games. This is a massive war game right here. And a war game is basically a nation or a group of nations in this situation that stick out their chest against the other nations to let them know what they have. Okay? All right? Um Look at this. Let's see how many. Let me read this part again. The Russian Defense Ministry said up to 200,000 military personnel, 80 aircraft and helicopters, 15 ships, 300 tanks would take part. And this is going to be for a week. All right? It's going to begins Friday, which is tonight or today, and will run until September 16th. That's next Thursday. Let's see who's going to be involved here. Military personnel from Armenia, India, uh, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia will participate, the Russian defense military said. All right. NATO officials have warned that the drills will follow a huge Russian military buildup on Ukraine's borders earlier this year, increase the risk of an accident or miscalculation that could touch off a crisis. Right? So, like I said, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall cometh upon them. But this is basically, let me get another scripture, because what this is doing, what's happening here is prophecy being fulfilled. Let me get Isaiah 13. Let me get Isaiah 13. This is Isaiah 13 and 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a lion. I'm sorry, like as of a great people, the tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Where are they going to be gathered together? They're going to be gathered together in one place, in one spot, for that third world's war. In Revelation, it speaks of a third woe. Two woes here cometh. There cometh one hereafter. Roughly paraphrasing. That's speaking about the world wars, man. Okay? And that's what a lot of people don't realize, but they will realize that soon. Why? Because they're in la la land. They're being distracted by what they see on TV. But war is coming, man. All right? The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. And this is what the Lord wants. The Lord wants the nations to start or kick off that third world's war, because that's going to be part of the way the Most High is going to get rid of these nations. He's going to get rid of them by way of the third war. Excuse me. In that world war. Excuse me, getting a little tongue tied. And one more, I want to go into Isaiah 14 also, the next chapter, and I'm gonna scroll down, and I'm gonna go to the point. Um, um, I'll start here. It says, Isaiah 14 and 10, and they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave. When the word pomp is going into, basically it means their pride, they're pompous. Right? Matter of fact, pomp is short for pompous, right? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave. What pomp or pride? Whose pride is being brought down? The pride of Esau, the pride of the Edomites. Their pomp is being brought down. And the noise of the vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations? Now, in this, it's speaking about, O Lucifer is speaking about, it's speaking about Esau. How has Esau become so weak? How has the great American military superpower, that great dragon, become so weak? It's become weak because the Most High allowed all these other nations to um, uh, gather up their nuclear and increase their nuclear capability, build up their military might for that final woe to take place. And this is what we see happening right here. And this is nothing more than war games being conducted, is nothing more than these nations. And now that they're gathering together and doing it collectively, these are the nations that are coming together and they're showing off their military might. All right, so I'll leave it with that. Lord willing, you brothers and sisters are edified. Until next show, shalom.